Hey YouTube, in today's video, I'm going to be doing a quick Anchor tutorial and how I use Anchor to help my podcast grow. Stick around to the end of the video, you don't want to miss this. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Eric. Thank you so much for coming across the channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so that way you get notified for when new videos come out. Helps me out as a content creator to provide more videos for you. I began the Violin podcast about a year and a half ago, and right now we are over 30 episodes because I do episodes on a bi-weekly basis, and I took a break during the summer so that way I can reload, recharge, because running a podcast is really hard. If you're a one-man show doing all the editing, scheduling all the guests, it can take some time to be able to do all that. But what made the whole process simple in starting a podcast and maintaining a podcast is Anchor. And Anchor has helped me a lot as a podcaster, as a solopreneur. And I'm going to share my thoughts on the Anchor app and just a quick tutorial to see what it's all about. All right, so right over here, we have the Violin podcast open on Anchor. And let me just guide you through the logistics of the whole app, what all the specific numbers mean, and etc. So right now, I'm on episode 30. As of this recording, and as you can see, I have a few episodes that are on draft or scheduled, and scrolling down here, I have about 30 episodes. So as you can see in the app, I have 10,000 plays, total plays 10,300 to be specific. I have an estimated audience of 143, which is a very small audience. It used to be a bit bigger, like 200, 300. But hopefully that'll grow as the second season of the Violin podcast is underway. You know, more people get to listen to it and more people get used to the episodes on a bi-weekly basis with the Violin podcast. So at the top, you have the total amount of plays in the existence of the podcast. On the right side over here, you have the estimated audience, which right now is 143, which is nice, small, and humble audience. And you have all the episodes that I've uploaded. So let's take a look at my most played episode, which is Galia Costner, who's a wonderful violinist. It has over 709 plays total. And as you can see here, I have a description of what the episode is about, and it's been published so everybody can hear the episode. And I scroll down and I have a text message, sorry. And as you can see over here, we have a couple sponsored segments, and these sponsored segments help you earn money on Anchor. So in this specific episode, I had sponsorships enabled, and this was through the Anchor ad. So there was that. And let's say if I want to add another sponsored segment, all I got to do is just add sponsored segment, and then there you go. I can just click on that, or I can click on that, yeah, and then I could also delete specific segments. So what you're going to notice, I'm going to go back to the, hold on a second, I gotta go to my podcast, there you go. So I'm going to go back to this page, and then I have 709 plays. The total of the episode is an hour, 12 minutes and 50 seconds. But let's say I have too many sponsored segments. So you're going to see at the top right corner of segments, right below the description about this episode, I'm going to click on this plus sign, and I have too many sponsored segments. I don't want to overwhelm the audience. So I'm going to click on the three dots on the side here, and that's going to help me delete from the episode. And that'll happen automatically. And as so, you're good to go. So let's go back to the episodes. So this is also a quick view of the episodes. Let's say you're going on one episode and you want to see the analytics for another episode. You can go to the top left of the episode name, and then you can scroll down. Let's see another one. A great episode was Angelo Zhang Yu. And what's cool about Anchor is that there's an editor inside the browser. So if you're not tech savvy, you're easily able to cut, edit, paste various recordings into the podcast episode, which is what I like, because sometimes I'm not the most eloquent speaker in the world, so sometimes I say and but and have these long awkward pauses sometimes for me, and the Anchor editing tool helps it make it really natural. And sometimes my guests ask, oh, is this podcast going to be edited? And I say, yeah, absolutely, I do the editing. And for me, it's really simple. I don't have to rely on somebody else. So it's the process is very, very easy. So I upload it and then I can edit it. So let's go back to the main dashboard, and I'm going to scroll up, and then you see that I have various tabs. So the episodes, the money, and then the analytics. So it shows my podcast performance, my most played episodes, my audience, which podcast platforms my episodes are being played, and my audience demographics, which is provided by Spotify because Spotify owns Anchor to promote the podcasts. That could be a whole other video, and also shows the demographics of male, female, not specified, non-binary, all that stuff. And those are the analytics. This is all time. I can go to 3 months. I can go to 1 month. I could even go towards a week. And this week has been a slow week, so apologies for that. Now that we've got the analytics, let's go to the money segment. And this is probably where you're gonna spend a lot of time, because you start a podcast is start a business, or you have a business and you want to supplement the business by having a podcast, but you also want to monetize it in some way. So over here, I don't rely on Anchor ads, just FYI. I don't rely on Anchor ads too much because I don't want to spam my audience with non-relevant ads. So I only have Anchor ads on very specific episodes, just to kind of create that revenue stream a little bit, but I don't overwhelm my audience with it. So, if you're starting a podcast on Anchor and you want to start adding advertisements, be careful. You don't want to overwhelm with too many sponsored segments, because then nobody's going to listen to your podcast. So I actually don't have that much money when it comes to the wallet. It's very humble. My all-time is $50.44 that I cashed out, and then my balance is 16 cents. So it's very, very small, but you can still earn a little bit of money. And by the way, the money portion is only available for people in the United States as far as I know. But if there's anyone who knows more information, at a later date and you want to update it, leave a comment down below and let's get a conversation going. So let's take a look at the active sponsorship. So the Anchor active sponsorships is $15 CPM. So what does CPM mean? CPM means cost per mille, and mille means 1,000. So for every 1,000 plays, you're going to be paid $15 by Anchor. However, there's a catch, because Anchor takes a cut of the $15 for you to use the app. So you will not see the full $15 for the cost per mille. You might see close to 14 and some change, but still you're making money and your podcast is monetized. So that's a plus. So, and let's go ahead and how to cash out. And after you start earning, there's a 30-day waiting period before you can cash out. After this period, you must have at least $10 in your wallet to cash out. Payouts should become available in your bank account within 3 to 5 business days. So let's say you have $100 or $50 or however many dollars in your Anchor account. You have to sign up for a service called Stripe, and you have to connect Stripe and Anchor together. And if you want me to do a tutorial on that, leave a comment down below so I make sure I make a video for you guys. So in this case, I have a Stripe account that's connected to Anchor, and then all I got to do is cash out, and then that bank account that I have, my business bank account, is connected to that account, to Stripe, and then it's connected to Anchor. So it's kind of like a two-way, three-way kind of situation here. But it's relatively easy. You need to have a minimum of $10 to be able to cash out. For me, it took it took a while for me to get to that $10 because they didn't have that much listenership. But as you continue to make episodes and you grow the podcast and whatnot, then you're going to start seeing a little bit more revenue. So that's something to think about. Let's go to the bottom of the app and let's go to tools. So this is, again, a very familiar page. And these tools allow you to copy paste. It allows you to edit the episode however you want. And what's cool about Anchor is that they provide you with all sorts of effects, like sound effects and noise effects. However, the noise effects and the sound effects are, I think, only available for Spotify listeners. So let's say if your podcast is growing on Apple Podcasts, because of copyright, they're not all the melodies or not all the effects are going to be transferable to the Apple Podcasts or other podcast platforms. So that's something to keep in mind when you're creating your podcast, that if you want to incorporate certain sound effects, I would actually edit them into the file as opposed to using the ones on Anchor, because that'll just save you a lot of time and hassle if you if you rely on those sound effects, of course. But so I have audio only. I have a bunch of ads that I place by myself. And this is very simple. You have a notification bell on the right. It says how many people liked your podcast, favorited your podcast. And what's cool about Anchor is that people can send you messages, like voice messages on Anchor. Like if there are people who are listening on the Anchor app and come across your podcast, they can directly message you in case they have a question or they have a comment about the podcast. And what's cool about it is that you can incorporate that Anchor message into your episode. So if you have a guest and then you have a question that you want to incorporate and then you can talk about on your podcast, that's something that you can do. And last but not least, we have this Discover bar, this Discover tab. And you have all sorts of options in terms of listening to different podcasts that are made with Anchor. For me personally, I don't see this page being updated so frequently. But it's actually a very useful page for anyone who is starting to build their podcast from zero. And you can let's go ahead and what's your podcast about? And Anchor has like all these really awesome, resources and tools, so that way you can learn more on creating a really high quality podcast. And you have episodes using Anchor tools. Like I said, the voice messages, you can do a voice message. You can try making your own. You could also record with other friends who are using the Anchor app. And you could also, like I said before, background music. But like I said before, the background music, I think it only relates to Spotify. Don't quote me on it, but that's from the last time I read it. Not all melodies and music provided by Spotify, because it's Anchor affiliated, it's not going to go towards the Apple Podcast, to Podchaser, Overcast, all that stuff. And that's about it. It's really easy for you to have a podcast, and you start with Anchor FM, and you just slay away. You podcast title, podcast album art. You tag it in whatever your podcast is about. Is it comedy? Is it music interviews? Like for me, it's going to be music interviews because I'm the host and producer of the Violin podcast. But it could be about anything. And that's what's so cool about Anchor. The distribution is really simple. You can distribute it to 8 or 9 different places. And for me, I actually distribute the Violin podcast on YouTube because I record my videos, my interviews via videos. So I'm able to, cut and slice different videos like that. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about Anchor and this tutorial. I hope you found value in this video. If you did, hit the like button for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel for more of these kinds of videos. And we'll catch you next time. Let me know what other videos in relation to Anchor that you want to see. Thanks so much.